In our last couple of videos, we shared 10 of our favorite anchorages, and this time around, we're going to show a few more that I guess I'll call them honorable mentions because it's places we really enjoy, but don't go to as often as we really would like. The first of these honorable mentions is McKay Harbor at the south tip of Lopez Island. It's a very sheltered harbor, as you can see, and it kind of protects you from the swells coming off of the Strait of Juan de Fuca. McKay Harbor offers extensive area for anchoring, and as you can see, the mud bottom is only about 3 to 6 meters deep. As long as you catch the ebb, sailing to McKay Harbor really takes about 2.5 to 3 hours. You head down Rosario Strait and around the southern tip of Lopez Island, and you're there. Okay, we are in McKay Harbor, south tip of Lopez Island. Just came in off the Strait of Juan de Fuca. It's actually really calm out there tonight. Beautiful, beautiful evening. Not a lot of wind, but this gets us kind of out of the out of what little wind there is. Another of our favorite anchorages is Reed Harbor on Stewart Island. The beauty of this harbor lies in the fact that it is very secluded. It's protected on all sides by high hills, and it's got beautiful holding, mud bottom in 4 to 5 fathoms. It even has some linear moorage here, as you can see. It's probably worth noting that if you're coming through John's Pass, and here the arrow shows that, there are some rocks that you really need to be careful to avoid. I've seen boats actually run up on those rocks, so be very careful in that area. Sailing to Reed Harbor takes about 5 hours. It's dependent upon the currents, so you want to catch a flood. You come up through Lopez Sound and into the upper part of San Juan Channel, and then you come in over the north side of Spiden Island in order to avoid some of the currents. Our next honorable mention is Hunter Bay on Lopez Island. It's really well known for good crabbing, but it also is a nice place to get out of the weather, and it has very good holding on a mud bottom. In fact, the bay next to it is called Mud Bay. If you catch the tail end of the ebb, sailing from Anacortes to Hunter Bay takes typically about 3 hours. It's important to go through some of the passes, either Lopez or Thatcher, and make sure that you're there with a slack tide. You can pretty much anchor anywhere in the bay, but the mooring buoys in the bay tend to be private buoys only, so you want to stay off of those. Our next honorable mention is Brigantine Bay on Decatur Island. This is a very protected anchorage, but it is kind of steep just off of the shore, and the beach is private again. But it is a very relaxing place to spend the night. You can see how the mud bottom has good holding, but you've got to watch out for some of the cable areas. If you leave Anacortes at the tail end of the ebb, the trip to Brigantine Bay generally takes a little less than 3 hours. It's located just south of Spencer Spit, so it's not that far of a trip. In very few feet of water, you can actually see the bottom. It's probably about 7 or 8 feet back here of water.
I can't see the bottom. I think it's because there's too much sun reflecting.
Our next honorable mention is Roche Harbor, which is located on the northwest tip of San Juan Island. Now, this harbor does have good anchorage, but in all honesty, Sherry and I have always just grabbed a spot at the dock because there's so much to do on shore. There's a mausoleum, there's the lime works, there's all kinds of great stuff to check out while you're there. And of course, fuel and water are both available at the dock, as well as customs. From Anacortes, the usual path is across Rosario through Thatcher Pass, up through Harney Channel, ultimately out into San Juan Channel, and then between Spiden and San Juan, and then into Roche Harbor. Even though the customs office at Roche Harbor is no longer staffed, it's still usable. Also, there's water at the dock, there's fuel at the dock. They've got some nice evening celebrations, which are fun to listen to. They've got laundry, stores, restaurants, and there's even an art exhibition about a quarter mile up the road, which is kind of fun to walk through. Our next honorable mention is Cypress Head on the east side of Cypress Island along Bellingham Channel. It's a little isthmus that sticks out, and on the north side there are 3 buoys, I believe it is. The currents are really strong in there, so you get a lot of water rushing through even on a buoy. The trip from Anacortes to Cypress Head is really short. It takes about an hour and 45 minutes, point to point, just to grab the buoy. One important thing, again, coming around this head is to give it a little clearance because there's rocks along the west side of the island there. Here you notice we've grabbed the DNR buoy, and that DNR buoy is free of charge, which is nice. Oh, there he is over there. He was cute, wasn't he? So we went to get the camera to check out the cutest little baby seal that was climbing around the buoy at the front of the boat.
It had cute big little hands.
Flippers.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
there he is. Now there are little fish
Yeah.
floating around out of the water.
Yeah, I think
he's going after him.
he's going after him. Our next honorable mention is Garrison Bay on San Juan Island. Garrison Bay typically is pretty wide open. It is unfortunately kind of shallow at the southeastern edge, and you can see here that there's not much in the way of depth when you get past about the midpoint of the bay. From Anacortes, sailing to Garrison Bay or motoring usually takes close to 6 hours or more. It's tide dependent, and you've really got to watch the currents, especially once you get into an area it's called Mosquito Pass, which is just south of Roche Harbor. It becomes very critical that you watch your charts.
Or were you just wish I had my camera? I would have taken that heron. It's beautiful out.
It is. Anyway, there's us, anchored.
How do you get it to go down?
Oh, you lift that little
This
thing.
black latch
Yeah.
thing?
Rotarinus,
Rotarians?
Rotarians, Vancouver Island Fleet. Wow, isn't that nice?
Anyway, it was so funny, and then all of a sudden here we are. I mean, it took no time to get that big salad. Yeah, I was trying to feed it.
These are the original buildings.
Hit the corner of the table with my knee with a lot of force. I'm writhing. That's funny. Writhing around. Well, actually, it felt really good. Echinacea?
Yeah.
Where's the echinacea? Is that what this is?
Our next honorable mention is Bellingham Bay. Now, within Bellingham Bay, we tend to almost always go to Boulevard Park. There's some linear moorage there, and there's also good anchorage, really. The red arrow on this chart indicates the actual location of Boulevard Park and the linear moorage. Sailing from Anacortes to Bellingham, even with only light winds, only takes about 2.5 hours. And it's actually a beautiful trip up there. We usually moor on the linear moorage at Boulevard Park. So all of these ships here are waiting to take on fuel oil. You can see that they're riding a bit high still. We've noticed in the last couple of years the linear mooring lines appear to be sinking lower and lower into the water, which makes it kind of difficult to pick them up. Just something to be aware of. Yep. Okay. Turn this on. I don't know. Our next honorable mention is Friday Harbor on San Juan Island. It has customs, fuel, water, and lots of great shops and restaurants. In addition to the slips in the marina itself, the north part of Friday Harbor offers great holding and a mud bottom. The trip to Friday Harbor from Anacortes takes about 4 hours, and like most sails in the islands, it's really tidal dependent. Based on when you're leaving Anacortes and when you plan to arrive in Friday Harbor, be sure to check the currents. And here's a more detailed layout of the harbor itself. And here we are in our assigned slip for the night. It's common for people to gather at the waterfront waiting for the ferry. On a beautiful morning like this, you'll still have some fog as you notice in the distance. But again, there's great coffee and lattes available there. These are shrimp. Look at that, thousands and thousands of shrimp down there. The docks are just littered with shrimp. We woke up one morning with a small cruise ship next to us. They had gotten lost the night before and went ahead docking next to our boat. Really a cool boat. The captain took us through the boat on a tour. It was awesome. It's an impressive sight watching these ferries emerge from the fog. Unfortunately, A couple of years ago, our governor cut off all international travel by ferry for Washington State, and as a result, Friday Harbor itself obviously is suffering millions of dollars every year in lost revenue because Americans traveling to Canada no longer stop here, and Canadians traveling to the U.S. no longer stop here. So where it used to be a hub of business, I think many of them are probably not doing as well as they were before our governor shut down the ferry system to Canada. In addition to great shoreside facilities, Friday Harbor is a wonderful place to pull in the evening for a few hours for dinner. Our last honorable mention is Rosario Resort on Orcas Island. Cascade Bay is the location for this resort, and there are some wonderful hikes going up to Cascade Lake. You can kind of see the lake in the upper right-hand corner. Sailing to Rosario from Anacortes takes about 3.5 hours, and while you can go in through either Thatcher Pass or Obstruction Pass, we almost always choose Thatcher Pass. Well, you can anchor in Cascade Bay. We've always grabbed mooring balls because with the mooring ball you have access to facilities at Rosario Resort, which we've always enjoyed. They've got a spa, indoor pool, a couple of outdoor pools. Really a beautiful place to spend some time. All right, we're finally on our way. We're heading back in to go swimming. Somebody's got to live the good life. Might even do a little cleaning if I have a chance. Heart-shaped tree in the center island. And a bridge here that was built in 1915. It's kind of cool. Beautiful old trees here, incredible pines.